This was a surprising result. Erling Haaland had some big misses in this one that we don't normally see. I think he had 10 shots and not one of them went in the back of the net. Nigel, you're smiling. You've got this.
I'm laughing because of the frustration that Alan showed there when he's pushing the camera out of the way. It's like when I feel when I see Alexis's face sometimes. But
just move
out of my face. No, I think for me, for the title run, this makes it gives that belief to Liverpool and Arsenal. That's what this result does. But the thing that I admire the most as well is when you look at those players that you just saw, the frustration. It was a draw for Manchester City, but they felt like it was a loss. So it just shows how passionate and committed they are to trying to win this Premier League title.
100%. I mean, only collecting 1 point at home against a Chelsea side that has been kind of, it's been a roller coaster for them. We don't really know what you're going to get day in, day out from this Chelsea side. But for you, Allie, what did they get right on the day against City?
I mean, they have talent, and it's a young squad, and they've been unbeaten the past 3 matches anyway away from home. So the players actually rose to the challenge. I think they did well in transition, and you know, a few players like Conor Gallagher, Gusto, and Diassi also they played brilliantly, and that I think carried the rest of the team. But it's nice to see that Chelsea stepped up to this occasion, and now hopefully moving forward they can use, you know, this plan and the incentives that really help them succeed moving forward into the league and hopefully climb the table a little bit.
One of the things that we've said about Chelsea when we've spoken about them this season is that they've lacked an identity. Nigel, do you feel like they're kind of starting to find that?
I wouldn't say they're finding an identity. I would say the game plan worked well. You know, Ali and I, we covered Chelsea in the we covered Man City in the Champions League last week, and we spoke about how Manchester City are vulnerable when they turn over the ball. And even Kevin De Bruyne came out and said that after the Copenhagen game. Chelsea's plan worked to a T. You can beat Manchester City like that, but again, you have to have quality and you have to have pace. And that's what they did. When we saw that starting lineup, I said instantly that this is for counter-attacking football. Raheem Sterling and Nicholas Jackson breaking out wide. Palmer as well is another one that could break out wide. And they've got that extra bit of quality. Really and truly, Chelsea should have won that game because they had a great chance towards the end with Nkunku, and he tried to be a bit too clever. But for me, I think for that game in particular, the game plan worked. Counter-attacking football against Manchester City, one of the top 6 teams. But when it comes to other teams, Chelsea will have to probably possess the ball more, and that still identity is they're trying to find that yet. Because for me, Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in that midfield area still don't have that real cohesion and togetherness to dominate games and be able to keep possession well enough at a high quality level to dominate games. But for a game like this, where City want to be the ball-dominant team, that was perfect game plan by Chelsea.
I think if you're Chelsea, though, this could be a little bit of a dangerous draw to hang your hat on. Because I get that if you have a team that plays as compact as City does, I mean, oftentimes when you're watching just how compact they are, compact in the sense that the front line and the back line are about 15 yards apart. They try to obviously stay as wide as possible. Counterattacking, yeah, I mean, that's really the only chance you're going to have. I feel like any team that wants to keep possession, the only chance you're really going to have is the counter. But I think to walk away and say our plan worked, you also had Erling Haaland miss 9 shots, and that's not going to happen often. 2 of them were absolute sitters, especially the header in the second half. I think he ended with an XG of 1.71 and obviously didn't score any goals. So I think if you walk away, if he hits one of those, and then you have Rodri doing what he does, what he did in the Champions League final, which is when everyone else is covered, Erling is double, you leave him alone. He's going to make that late run in the half space into the box, immediate strike on goal, get a chance on goal. Even though it took a deflection to still win in, it still feels like if you're Chelsea, you walk away from this saying, we walked out of here with a point we probably don't really deserve, even though they played great.
That's harsh.
It's not harsh. Erling Haaland still had 9 shots. This isn't necessarily a game plan. Here's our game plan. We're going to counter, and this guy's not going to score. All right, everybody on 3.
Before that,
let's get out there.
Nicholas Jackson had another good chance in the first actual initial breakaway. He had a bad touch. The ball was slightly behind him, didn't slow himself down well enough. And again, we talk about Nkunku's chances. So you're away from home. You're not at the bridge. You're away from home. For me, it was a good performance by Chelsea, and it's Erling Haaland missed chances, no problem. But Chelsea did play well, and they had. And you talk about tactics. We actually saw tactics implemented for Chelsea that worked for them. So it's harsh to say that, you know, if Erling Haaland got it on target or they scored. He didn't. He didn't. And for me, Chelsea had the better chances to really win that game.
Yeah, it was a huge result for them, especially with the Carabao Cup final coming up at the weekend against Liverpool at Wembley. So a good little momentum boost for them. For City, though, it's not going to be an easy road for them. You know, they had an opportunity this weekend to kind of take control of this title race, but these are their next 7 matches coming up, and there are some tough matchups heading their way, specifically Manchester United, who've been playing really well, Liverpool, who are at the top of the table, Arsenal, who are scoring goals with abandon. Alexis, as an Arsenal fan, did you see some vulnerabilities in City that kind of make you start believing that a title race is within their grasp?
What vulnerabilities? I mean, first of all, that's a brutal march, by the way. To go to, you know, you got United, Liverpool, Brighton, and then Arsenal, which obviously for Arsenal's title chances, going to Etihad are going to be very, very important. But there's also going to be a match against Liverpool before that. That's going to be a fun one to watch, especially if you're Arteta. Have a notepad and a pen.
Speak for yourself.
You know, and we get to see what you guys do against them. But I think it's, when you're looking at City, I don't think there's any weakness, so to speak, right? They play their game. You play that exact game 10 out of 10 times, you're going to win 9 of them. This just happened to be that 10th one. So as far as I'm concerned, as an Arsenal fan, I didn't look at City and go, that's how you beat him. You just hope Erling Haaland has a bad match. I don't know, what do you shake keys in front of him? I don't know what you do.
No, but
Lasers?
Come on, man. Look at,
I don't know what you do.
Well, Alexis, look at your Arsenal team,
Is
right?
he a dog?
I don't know. I'm trying anything to confuse him. Hey, look over here, buddy. Maybe magic tricks? I got your nose.
You got Trossard and
nose.
Martinelli. They are the key factor for me in that game. I told you, Arsenal Manchester City are vulnerable to counter-attacking football. They've just shown that. You've got Martinelli and Trossard, and you've got Odegaard right now, who probably is competing with Kevin De Bruyne for most creative attacking midfielder. If they turn over that ball in that midfield area, Arsenal have a real simple game plan to get goals. I think that the vulnerability is there for City. And I know people will be saying probably, it's counter-attacking football, this and that. This is when it comes to the importance, and Ali will say this as well, when we talk about personality and character of players, that's the difference of what's missing in Manchester City right now. The great City side had Vincent Kompany. Vincent Kompany was a great defender. I'm not saying the defenders now are not great, but the element of what made Vincent Kompany different to the ones now is the individual personality. And that's the difference when they face these type of situations before. The personality and football intelligence of an individual player, they can lock out these plays and lock out these counter-attacking situations.
Yeah, which I think Arsenal have. I mean, obviously the best defensive team in the league at the moment, but you have a Gabriel Magalhaes and a William Saliba, which just seem like they can stop any counter that possibly comes their way. They also love to play a high line. But also when it comes to set pieces, they're scoring a ton. Ooh. And on the other side, they're also locking it down. So I think at the end of the day, you look at Arsenal and you think to yourself, who do you want to see Arsenal beat? You want to see them beat City. Prove to the world and to me, as a fan of yours, that you are of the ilk that deserves to be a title contender, not just a contender for the top 2.
I'll tell you one thing that's good for Arsenal as well, right? One thing that people don't pay a lot to, and we didn't really start paying attention to it till later on in our career, till stats became a big thing. Arsenal scored 17 goals off set pieces. And
25
I think
if you count penalties.
People don't realise how big set piece goals are. We never really used to count penalties, but just set piece plays, that's massive. Because when Manchester United were dominant under Alex Ferguson, you didn't really realise till you look into the stats profile of it how important set-piece goals are from corners and free kicks, how big a part they play in teams that win titles.
And they made fun of Liverpool when they got the throwing coach from Michelin. Yeah. They made fun of Arsenal when they brought in Jover, a set-piece coach. Throw-in's considered a set-piece. But again, trying to win at every little advantage you can is huge. If Arsenal don't have those 17 goals off set pieces, where are they now? They're certainly not in second place, fighting for the top position. Trying to get an advantage anywhere you can is probably the only way you're going to stop Manchester City from winning another title.
It's interesting, too. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just was going to say that Arsenal also have really tough games, even though they're playing against Burnley and Sheffield, who are at the bottom of the table, but sometimes those are the toughest games to play because you go out expecting to win, and then, they're fighting, and they want to, they're like so excited to play against Arsenal because they're at the top of the table and they want to get points.
This string of matches, too, because you look at Bournemouth, you look what they were able to do this weekend on the road at St. James's Park.
Does that hurt you to say that with a slight bet? Does that hurt you to say that?
My betting. I mean, it's just you need to coach. I need to consult you more. That could be the problem. But Manchester United have been playing. They're so much improved from earlier season form. Liverpool, Brighton, Arsenal, Villa. I mean, it's It's not going to be easy for City coming up.
As a neutral, it's just exciting. Every game matters so much to the Premier League table, whether it's the top 4 or beating relegation. Every game matters. I think there's like 3 points separating maybe 9th or 10th to Europa place at 7th. Like, it's just every game matters, and every team is capable of causing an upset. We look at these fixtures. I mean, you look at it. Liverpool, Brighton, Arsenal and Villa. All those teams there on their day are capable of beating Manchester City.
And most of them will treat this as that day. Most of those teams, we're going to walk into this game seeing a match against City is a final. It's especially if you're Liverpool and Arsenal, it's the only chance you really have to get to that top spot.